Welcome to Africa2U program. Our vision is a culturally enriched community, and our mission is to engage the community in the diverse African culture, heritage, and history. We're going to take you on a journey to Africa to introduce you to African innovation, diversity, family life, celebrations, fashion, crafts, governance, and all. What is written about Africa does not really match what Africa is. So what is Africa? Africa is innovation, music, dance, celebration, relationship with nature, language, indigenous knowledge, fashion, crafts, and most significantly, it is the cradle of life. Here are some facts about Africa. It is a continent which is in most cases inaccurately presented as a country. It is comprised of 54 countries, and the continent is in comparison almost as big as the United States, China, India, and most of Europe combined. Africa is home to over 3,000 tribes. Almost a third of the world's languages are spoken in Africa. European and some 100 American slaves were sold into North Africa in the Ottoman provinces of Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, and Tripolitania, current Libya. It was called the Barbary slave trade, and it ended with the European occupation of these countries. There are more French-speaking people on the continent of Africa than there are in France. Most Africans speak more than one language. Then the different dances in Africa have different purposes. Africa and Europe are separated by just 9 miles. The oldest human remains ever discovered were in Ethiopia and are dated about 200,000 years old. Africa is home to the longest river in the world. That's the River Nile. In Africa, we have Africans, we have the Arabs, we have Middle Eastern cultures. What are some of the things that originated in Africa, one may ask? Africa is the cradle of Asian mathematics. It's the home to the oldest mathematical objects, the notched bones. The Shango, which is believed to be more than 20,000 years old, and this was discovered at the border of Congo and Uganda near the Semliki River. Then we have the Lebombo, dated 35,000 BC in Swaziland. The theory is that the Ishango may have been invented by a woman to track her menstrual cycle. Coffee originated from Africa, in Ethiopia. It grows wild in Ethiopia. Almost half of the gold mined in the world is from South Africa. Africa has the largest cobalt reserves in the world. Cobalt is used to make rechargeable batteries, including phone batteries, which we enjoy using. Modern medicine has its roots in Africa. This includes the bone setting, dentistry, and different surgery, say, for example, to remove penetrating arrows, spears, sticks. And Africans did clinical investigations to get rid of strange diseases, to mention but a few. What is Africa's reputation? We Africans regard culture as essential to our lives and future development through the application of indigenous knowledge to our day-to-day life. Culture embodies our behavioral patterns, philosophy, worldview, and institutions. My name is Vivian, and I am originally from Uganda and now living in the United States. Uganda is many things, and it's been known to the world for many things, mostly the negative. But Uganda has a lot to offer, things that are rarely talked about. Our culture. Uganda has one of the richest cultures in the world because of its diversity. We have more than 50 tribes in Uganda. And Uganda is the home of Lake Victoria, one of the biggest lakes in the world. This is called matoke in Uganda. This is how we peel matoke. Back in Uganda, family life is very important. Skills are passed on from generation to generation. The little girls here are shelling peas. This is a car, handmade in Uganda. This is supposed to be a digger, also handmade in Uganda. We love drums. Music is our life. And in our culture, especially in the Baganda culture, people who are very creative, they had to find ways to clothe. This is back cloth. It was made for home use, and when they died, they were buried in back cloth. We also teach children to be respectful to elders. And my little girl here is going to show us how to greet an elder. And, okay. Irate, oliotia, jendi, kale, jendi mkwano, kale genderi. And that is a Buganda way of greeting an elder. But then, Uganda has very many tribes. I was born in a multi-tribal household. My father, rest in peace, was from the southwestern part of Uganda, and he belonged to the Ankole or Nyachitara tribe. You embrace them, and you say, Keje, Horo, Horoje, Agandi, Nimarunji, Agandi. Thank you. So, there are very many ways of greeting. Greeting is very important. In Uganda, we have mostly the Christian groups, we have the Muslim or Islamic groups, and we teach our children, regardless of which religious affiliation we are, how to pray. And one of the key prayers that I was taught growing up by my grandmother was the grace in Luganda. And I have passed on the same to my children. The night we kneel down, hold hands, and we pray. Ekisa chamukama waffe Yesu Kristo n'okwagalako Ai Katonda n'okussa kimu okw'omwoyo omutukuvu bibeere naffe ffenna emirembe gyonna. Amiina. And that helps us bond, relate with the superhuman being, and I beg your pardon, but that is family life. Because of how busy African lifestyles are, sometimes the challenge of the kids misbehaving, or if they are in their way or need to sleep, this is one of the ways to keep them in check so we get some work done. We wrap the kids on the back. Wait, thank you. Okay. Here, that's up. So she was complaining, of course, it was too tight because I wanted to make it as tight as possible so I could do some work without much interruption. But this is just for demonstration purposes, and I'll take her down right now. But when they're too noisy still, like this, we have games that will encourage the kids to be quiet. This is one of the games. Suna suna akanyama, anayogera ya nakalya, anaseka ya nakalya. With you. buys us some quiet time. You might learn a thing or two about that.